I need to hit the button, another button. Oh. Whoa. Welcome to Friday Freakout. Hello to I Know a Guy Bicycles, hanging out with a guy. Hey, I'm Justin the Guy on this Friday Freakout. Yeah, this is basically insights of a bike shop when you're actually trying to figure out how did we get here, what hasn't gotten done, what has got done but still needs to be picked up or what have you, or contacted, all those things from a bike shop perspective. Hey, welcome back to I Know a Guy Bicycles, hanging with the guy. I'm Justin the Guy, and I do apologize. I have a little bit of cold, so if I have a little bit of coughing or sniffling, got my trusted nose covering on a roll. A little backup coffee, which should be technically tea, but I haven't gotten there yet. But we got the warm coffee brewing and going. I hope it's nice in your neck of the woods so you can take advantage of the fall riding and or spring if you're in the southern part. And hey, thank you for hanging out. We got a couple things we're going to talk about and go over. What is actually kind of cool and kind of different and kind of weird, and just how it is, like a snapshot inside I Know a Guy Bicycles and dealing with a small shop. And yeah, it's getting a little colder, so yeah, I got a little sweatshirt here to keep me warm, but the shop lights or the studio lights, I don't know what kind of lights, YouTube lights, social media lights, they warm up the space a little bit, even though they're, I don't know, halogen. I don't know. I bought them used just to give me some extra lighting here. But in any case, yeah, this is the time of year where the shop gets a little bit colder for me. I do have a space heater. So it is literally a garage, two-car garage with a little bump out. You're seeing me in a corner right here where I'm looking out at is my shop area, tool wall, two bike stand from Park Tool, also a fitting area with specialty tools, and also a little shipping area. And I got a whole heck of a lot of storage right above me. So in any case, oh, soggy South Cal. Oh, Lawrence, thank you for chiming in. Yeah, I saw that on the news that weather front is smacking you right now, getting kind of wet, and I think it's going to come our direction later this week or next week. In any case, it's probably going to land on Thanksgiving and make it nice and soggy. But in any case, we're finally here in Colorado. I mean, I haven't even blew out my sprinkler system yet because it hasn't gotten cold enough and it's been so dry. We haven't seen any moisture here. Typically we would see a snowstorm or rain or something, but it's been dry. So we've been trying to keep the trees and the grass somewhat alive still, this has been the latest. So I'm talking about a turn of events of riding. Locally, it's opened up a lot of opportunities for people to just keep riding, keep their bikes fresh and all that. I've still been getting pretty consistent repairs and tune-ups in. I got one right behind me, which is a Penella, which I'm going to do the magic tune-up from my shop, and they want to list that one to sell, and we'll see if we could sell something of that high-end quality in our current market. In addition to, he brought in an Allied bike, which is one of his other bikes. We'll feature that here in a little bit. It has some interesting things about it, and I'll be asking those who are living in other places where there might be humidity, some humidity questions, because in Colorado it's pretty darn dry, and which is good, so for, not rusting and so forth in that case, but in any case. Love it. Thank you for joining in. Oh, hello to you two from Europe. Hopefully the weather is still staying pretty tempered in your area and getting some riding in, hopefully. Hope you guys can hear me okay and see me. I kind of a mad dash, split second, got this all together. It was a little bit earlier than I usually do a setup like this, which that's just kind of how I roll. Need to get things done a little bit earlier on Friday for me locally. We got some events coming up. It is the holiday season of things, right, that are not bike work related for me, as well as I'm sure you in your life. And And yeah, it's been interesting what's already started piling up between our typical Thanksgiving here in the States. We have the Black Friday, and we'll talk about that here in a second. I'll be moving around and showing the shop in a little bit. I'm just going to take a little sit down here before we start moving the camera around. But yeah, my wife, she's in a clogging, well, she teaches clogging as well as other stuff in this class. But her full-time job, she's a scientist, so this is her fun thing. But they have like a thing downtown Loveland where they're doing a dance and this evening, and that's basically another kickoff thing of like all the things we need to do, right? So we'll be doing that this evening, and we'll do some my other recent passion. I won't say passion, but thing we've gotten into with some friends of ours is bowling. So we're part of a bowling league, so that's going to be going on this weekend too. Hopefully you can sneak in a ride, but I have some people picking up some bikes and parts that will be done. I'll review those here in a moment. Kind of thing like this is what we're been dealing with or working through the week, and yeah, and then on top of that, it's birthdays and Christmas and all that. But hey, I want to let you know it's doing good, doing okay. I mean, as a small bike shop in a garage, I can't complain too much because my little environment, ecosystem, and customers have been taking care of me, and I'm going to be taking care of a customer today, which is really kind of fun. I had a phone call early this morning. I recognized the customer, so I did answer it. Typically, I don't that early, and it's going to be a gift delivering, which I don't typically do, and I'm debating if I want to do a little live stream of doing the delivery of this bike to a cool customer. But hey, we'll see if I can get that all together. But I do have the bike in the stand and do some cleanup on it to make sure it's all ready to go, kind of deal. So, and it's kind of a cool story, so I wanted to feature that as well. But as everybody probably knows, especially in the States, you've been bombarded by pre-Black Friday sales. So in my little brain here of thinking is like, today's Black Friday. I mean, they skip next week. Everybody's trying to hit to the punch. Why are they doing this? If you're been living underneath a rock and not really paying attention, which I don't blame you whatsoever. It's the market of all retail is in a tizzy of a hardship, and especially here in the States, basically they're freaking out. And a coin with Freakout Friday. This is like, instead of Black Friday, Freakout Friday, because they are dropping their pants on all the products pricing that they have in stock because of the soft economy that we have going on here. They don't dare say recession, but we're feeling it in bike land where they're selling parts and frames, and full bikes have really dropped down. The only thing that's really pushing out is some of the e-bikes, and even then that's kind of tapered off a bit. Acquisitions we've seen already with companies, mergings and so forth, and downward times like this is what happens. But as in bike shops go, they're really leveraging what they can as local bike shops and also independent bike shops. But when you're looking at the corporate, they're basically trying to, whatever they have in the warehouse they're putting on sale, to try to beat everybody to the punch. That's what this is. The Black Friday, Friday before Black Friday, that's a tongue twister, is already launched. And I noticed that when I was doing some stuff yesterday morning, and I realized a lot of the stuff on my Amazon store is already popped up on Black Friday. So if you didn't see the video yesterday, I have like the top 10 list kind of thing. But that, allude to that. I want to show, it is kind of cool, some of the prices. And let me just do this so I can collect my thoughts. And on the flip side, we will talk a little more in detail about how I leverage this. Shop on Amazon. I do have a Amazon store, like the latest pick, basically, of products that are on sale, that kind of thing, and various other parts and tools and so forth that I suggest using within those particular categories. Check that out. go through, and even if you don't buy the product that I suggest and you find something else that fits your needs better, or your grocery list, or whatever you end up buying, I get a little kick. So that's a good opportunity for you to get something, and I get something that helps support me doing what I'm doing. All right. Apparently that little microphone lost its connection. Oh boy. So I ranted for a good 7 minutes and, not really listening. Can you hear me now? The one was beeping. Okay, sweet. Sorry. Wow. That's embarrassing. And I lost my thought. Anyway, where I cut off probably was me talking about leveraging Black Friday. Are we good there? Leveraging Black Friday to get tools to be a little bit cheaper. Using my cash back from my credit card throughout the business credit card all year to help pay for those. And then on top of that, companies like 365 Cycles and Jensen's and Universal Cycles. I'm just trying to remember. There's like 3 or 4 that I use on a regular basis, which are 3 of them are part of QBP's platform of white labeling. So basically you are ordering from QBP and they ship it directly to you. And what they'll have is a coupon that's be a full coupon for like 25% off anything on their store. Replay the rant, yes. I used to work in retail using used to hate Black Friday, though it was ridiculous. Yes, absolutely. Heavy metal cyclists. I think you're down south, right, in Texas. You guys have a little more of a Black Friday. So leveraging Amazon, leveraging those particular discounts and so forth. This is the time to buy those tools with a discount, with some squirreled away extra cash back, and that brings the parts down. So that was the pinch point of my business is tooling, right? The tools are very expensive. And with that tooling, this is the time of year, I wait to buy that headset press or bottom bracket thread chaser or, the very expensive park tools because I can get those discounts in addition to save up a little bit of money. And this is the time of year to buy that. Plus I can write it off at the end of the season. So, but everything else in my small little ecosystem of a business here is, pretty low lift as in costs. And I don't really, at first I was miffed not having vendors. And at this point, I don't really care. It's actually a sanity tax, so I really don't have any contracts. I don't have to deal with any reps. I don't have to do any of that kind of rigmarole. It's just, it's a little bit less, it's a little more sane for me. And therefore I have opportunities. And if I do get a bike that has a specialty tool that's needed to work on it, I do have a couple of local shops. They're more than happy to help me out. They either charge me a little bit or not a thing at all because it's just courtesy. And it's just, that therefore I don't have to buy that $400 tool that I only use once every other 2 years, that kind of thing. But, I love tools. I invested into a lot of old antique tools as well as some newer tools. So, I'm a bike guy. I like tools. So what I found on the Amazon, which was pretty cool, like the little Dremel tool that cleans detailed frames and so forth, that's like $35. And what's nice about that is compact and it's rechargeable and it has a Velcro portion of it so you can use different pads. It makes it easier to get into all those little nicks and crannies and corners. And you can also use it in your house, like cleaning countertops or what have you. But for my purposes, it works well. And it's like a fourth of the cost of the professional ones that you get from the auto industry. So, it works really well, that kind of thing. So whatever. Yeah, so I would assume heavy metal cycles. Thanks for joining in, and thank you all for letting me know that the audio's come back on. Yeah, so bike mechanic trying to do YouTube. So the light on the receiving on the phone was still on, but this was blinking. So when that starts blinking, which it's not, it's still not solid. Okay, we're good. It's really hard to look down without looking weird, knowing the auto's on. But anyway, yeah. My big Black Friday experience is not within the cycling industry. It was actually within the sporting goods industry, working at Big Five, where they would have people lining up at 4 in the morning or 5 in the morning of your store for those doorbusters. I think COVID killed that. which thank God. I mean, that's bad. And as of right now, pretty much every company has dropped their pants on prices. This is pretty much it. From now till Cyber Monday, these are probably the lowest prices you're going to see on a lot of products. So if you're thinking about getting something or wanting to get something, this is probably the time to do it. That being said, it's just, just kind of crazy. And we've had a lot of change up within the industry too, where some companies are acquiring each other and all that kind of thing. As you can see, Bob behind me, the bike rep, is reading his bicycle retailer, keeping up on the latest events. He got shoved in the corner because we got a Penella right here, and I got space issues. But we're going to be doing hopefully I'll be able to be doing a special, very special delivery today for a good customer. I typically don't do deliveries, and it's just one of those situations where I had a phone call earlier this morning, like, hey, trying to figure out something. Like, I could just, you don't live far away from me. We can just, drop it off and surprise them and call it a good. So I was thinking about doing maybe a live of that, but later, but we'll see. Maybe I'll just do a short. That's kind of a fun thing. I hope all you're doing good. Oh, so yeah, Black Friday is like the kickoff of everybody's like, oh crap. And thank you for chiming in. Heavy Metal Cycles, let me know the audio stopped working. And also, Karya Paulos, thank you for joining in. Appreciate it. Hope you guys can all hear me now. So, yeah, I feel like that Verizon commercial. Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? In any case, a couple things, like a follow-up on that earlier video, talking about the check recall on kids' bikes. I've actually seen a couple of those in the Facebook Marketplace and Craigslist here, so I sent them the links. Like, you want to make sure these are double checked, because the pre-caliber from Trek on this model looks like your bike. You might want to have that check, because even on the used market, people are not, getting that information. So we want to make sure it's safe on those kids' bikes for sure. And if you're not sure what I'm talking about, I'll just do a quick screen share of that. Oh, where did it go? This one right here. So this is the recall in the United States, consumer safety, product safety report. They're mentioning most of the bikes in the United States. So even though if you see something like this and you're out of the United States, I would double check it. And there's a serial number you can run the serial number on Trek's website. I think there's a link in this particular one. If not, there's a link in the bicycle retailer. It's a couple models, just as a recap on this real quick. There's the Townie from Electra. There's one, it's coaster brake as a pedal backwards, if you don't know. And it's the 12, 16, 20 pre-caliber, which is the name that's stole from Gary Fisher. The Electra Sprocket, which must be their little kids version, 16-inch wheel. That's what they're referencing there. And these are all newer, like from 24 to most of them 26 models, which if you're a consumer, you're probably like, what do you mean by 26? We're not 26. Model years, like cars, come out around July and August for the following next year. So you'll see the 26 model per se in shops now already. So there's another 16, 12, and 24 of the newer ones, the pre-calibers. So what they're doing is they're replacing the wheel, the coaster brake on that. So just to give you a quick reminder, I've seen a few of these in the used market, so I hope those get either fixed or taken care of, because it's kids' bikes. You want to make sure they're safe. That's what it really comes down to. Did I lose audio again? No. So, in any case, Hopefully you can still hear me. I think I'm not seeing any blinky lights. And I still see, yeah, you should be hearing me because I'm seeing the audio. Okay, audio is good. Thank you, Heavy Metal Cycles. Walker's Bike Shop, thank you for joining in. Just got my shipment of warranty wheels for my stock from Trek. Awesome, that's good. Yeah, that's, yeah. I'm sure they're probably not, I mean, it's almost 70,000 bikes that were affected. That's nuts. I mean, that's like a steaming hot pile of dealing with. Is somebody in Trek's like, oh man, we gotta get 70. I mean, I don't know how many they're going to buy or get into the States, but I'm glad they're able to get them in fairly quickly and fix these bikes before they go to underneath Christmas trees. So, oh, they also came with new tires. That's nice. So it's just it comes with the full wheel and the tires. So that makes it really easy for the mechanic to swap out. You don't have to swap out the tire. Then you got an extra tire. You can either save or back stock or on new bikes, or you just give it to the customer like, here, here's a backup tire, which believe me, coaster brakes and kids, they love skidding. They love skidding, so they're going to burn out a tire anyway. So, and the volume of what Trek purchases, as in parts and so forth, they're probably not too terribly expensive for replacement. Yeah, so yeah, I mean, obviously it's up to the shop what they want to give back, but at least they're getting those coaster brakes off. And another question though, if you think about the sustainability of this, are they asking for them to be sent back, or are they destroyed? I'm assuming they just want them to be destroyed in field. And hopefully most of those shops like yourself have a mixed metal recycling portal that they don't go into the landfill. They just get recycled, hopefully. Because you're talking about a lot of wheels just technically need to be chucked because of safety. So, yeah, in any case. But yeah, that's great that they're coming, sounds like they're doing, try to be ahead of this, which is really good because it's a kid's bike. You want to be ahead of it. You don't want to have maybe a backlash. And believe me, as any bike shop, you do not want to have somebody come in and bring in a bike and it said their kid got hurt. Like, that's the most sinking feeling in the world. So it's one of those things, especially if you have kids, like, oh my God, no, and you don't want that. Oh, what is going on? There we go. I must have clicked something. So if the customer brings the bike in, I need to do whoops, I forgot to tab this over. Okay. Something's up with the platform I'm using. It's a little, we must have an update, or I need to do an update. In any case, you're usually supposed to see the chat on the side. Brings the bike. I'm going to show a field destroyed picture with the axle cut. Oh, with the axle cut. Huh, interesting. Yeah. My understanding, this is a lubrication issue in the hub, which probably could be disassembled and lubed. Yeah, well, the cost of labor of pulling apart of a coaster brake hub, especially for somebody who's never pulled apart a coaster brake hub, can be questionable. Yeah. Well, that's good. Interesting. Oh, man. Yeah, but if you cut that's hardened steel to cut. Interesting. Or you just pull it and bend it. Yeah, also important to have safe bikes. Yeah, but that reminds me back, the first few damaged frames, the bike whip would come in, or they're warranted, and it's just crazy. They'd come in, where's your vise? And you show them the vise, and they just clamp the derailleur hanger on there and just bend the frame over, and like, done. Yeah. Oh, you have to cut it with a hacksaw. Holy cow. That's got to take some time. Are they going to give you some credits for hacksaw blades? Wow. You might want to get a little grinder and zip those things off. But man, that sounds. But anyway. Oh, Lawrence, thank you for using my Amazon link. That's great. That's awesome. That is awesome. Yeah, I mean, hard and still. I mean, sitting with your hand's gonna cramp up, or trying to hacksaw hard and steel axles. Oh man, that's got to be painful. All right, let's. I feel a little bit better now. I think we got things working. So I'll have you take a peek at this while I relocate the camera.
Bicycle Wheel Warehouse in California has an excellent selection of wheels to choose from. They're pre-built, or also you can have them custom built up to various sizes. You can reach out to them directly if you have something unique like the 650 wheel or a different style hub. Therefore, it makes it an excellent bike wheel set company that actually provides good wheel sets without breaking the bank. You will find them being very trusted and shrewd. They really hold up under a lot of different riding conditions and so forth. It takes the standard old school wheel building practices and puts them in a better format. But in any case, this is a wheel set you'll be really love to have. It'll perform for you for a long period of time, and the quality and the attention to detail is superb. You'll find information about this company in the description below, with also my personal coupon code. I hope you find a good wheel set where it works for you.
Yeah, for the bicycle warehouse is pretty cool in my book, or what I use, or what I needed to use, that kind of thing. Hopefully you guys can see me on a vertical stream. And the reason why I found them to be pretty fruitful for me is because they do the custom building of wheels for rim brakes and so forth, where I don't have the time or the resources, mainly the time, to do that, and you can provide a pretty good solid wheel for those who have older bikes, that kind of thing. If you're a bike shop and you're not finding something at QBP or whatever, when a customer wants something a little bit nicer, but not like high end nice, that kind of thing, get a hold of them. They might be able to broker you a shop deal or something like that. But in any case, if you're for your customers, it's great. Something like this. Check it out. This is a Lightspeed Appalachian, which is their, well, not a gravel bike, it's a cross bike. Well, it is used as gravel today. This would be kind of like one of those scenarios of a rim brake, wheel set, that kind of thing to be built up, which would be great. But this is the bike that's going to be featured in today's delivery. Got some King cages, stainless steel on there for them, new tires, cables and housing, refreshed it all. This individual does a lot of riding on a Lightspeed already, and he only has one bike, believe it or not, as much riding he does. So this is going to be his off-season road gravel thing. So it has older Ultegra on it, 9-speed triple. So for Colorado, it's perfect for light trail riding and all that kinds of stuff. Only can get a 40C wheel on here. A little tight in the chain stays to do anything wider than that. If you wanted to go a little bit wider in the front, you probably could. But like the old school days of like super front fat tire for traction, and you got a skinnier tire for cutting in the back, that kind of deal. But yeah, it's pretty busy for being this late. But in any case, let's see here. Oh, Olympic Supply. Is that one of the suppliers that you use? Walker Bike Shop. Does anybody still know if Seattle Bike Supply is still around? Did they change Seattle Bike Supply? And obviously Seattle. So remember, what was it, Ted from Seattle Bike Supply in the 90s would call me like once a week. Ted, you seem cool, but man, it's like, oh my God, it's Ted again. Do you need anything from Seattle Bike Supply? No. Got it from J&B or QBP or anybody else after that kind of deal. But anyway. Yeah, so yeah, I got some really cool bikes working on. Like I mentioned, I have a Penella rental, lots of words there, in the back corner there, and got an Allied carbon bike, both are carbon bikes with Ultegra Di2. Have this classic here. I have a felt full suspension 26 mountain bike I'm going to be working on for a consignment sell. And I got a classic Schwinn Peloton in the rafters that I'm going to be doing a detailing video on. And also a Klein full suspension, which I'll put the green chameleon color, almost in mint shape. Going to be working on that hopefully next week if I can work it around Thanksgiving. Oh yeah, bicycle wheel. They're sending me a set of wheels. I should be getting them today for that. It didn't have matchy wheels, and that's the only thing that didn't match. Everything was OEM. Somebody swiped the front wheel and put on an old Swami Matrix, which is the single wall, not a double wall front. So I'm like, if I'm going to build this up, I want it to be matchy, or something a little bit nicer. So I have it is disc compatible frame and fork. If anybody wants to convert that over to disc with the little adapter from Trek. But it does currently have rim brakes. So I got the rim brake with disc compatible hubs laced up, and it's going to be pretty sweet, that kind of thing. Oh, Seattle is closed. Yeah, I was assuming so. I haven't heard anything in a while, and I didn't take the time to look them up on QBP. I'm sure they're not Brain. See if they closed. Oh, okay. So Olympic Supply. Oh, a family-owned business, huh? That's high. That's nice. That's pretty cool. Getting those wheels. Just checking in the chat here. Yeah, SBS used to be. That's where we see all bike supplies. That's where we got our red lines back in the day. I still see a few red lines in the used market for gravel. Not very much in their BMX. Once in a while in their BMX. I use JB and Holly. Oh yeah, Holly. They have like a different abbreviation now. It threw me off, and I was like, "Oh, who's this company?" It's like, "Oh, it's Holly." Yeah, yeah. We have our Mike Knight was our bike rep back in the day. We'd see him like every Thursday, I think it was, and the truck rep would come on Tuesday. So the truck rep would try to come in earlier to get all the small parts purchases before the J&B guy came in. But although the J&B inside rep would call on Monday mornings, so it's like they're always were jockeying for every week your order from you. I don't miss those days of dealing with them. J&B is still around. J&BI with J&B importers. They're still around. I saw them at the show, Cabda. They're still the same JP guys. They seem the same. It's just anyway. This thing, you have a bike scale. This one's from Feedback. I think Park Tool makes one. Give a testimonial on this guy. I've had it for about 4 years, and I went to go weigh a bike frame. I was about ready to list, and turned out the batteries are dead, or I hope the batteries are dead. It has original brand nothing super battery, so we'll see if it comes back to life. But yeah, I do feature some the weights to the bike frames that I sell, just as because people they'll end up asking. This the thing is when you start listing and selling online a lot, you get a laundry list of questions, and then you just put that into your listing, so you're not going back and forth emails. You just put it all there. And although even when you do that, still people are like ask those same questions, like it's in the description right there, that kind of thing. Yay, we're back to life. Question is, hopefully I don't have to recalibrate it. I don't know. I have to get a hold of Feedback if I need to do that. Anyway, so yeah, suffering through a cold the last couple of days, trying to get some stuff done. But yeah, I mean, I got some really cool things to dive into this week. Really looking forward to it. Going back to the coaster brake hub, and coaster brake hubs, I don't know if I have an axle here. But most axles, if you don't know, look like something like this, and this is what they're talking about needing to cut, and it's hardened steel, and you'll blow through blades, and they're solid. This one's hollow because it's a quick release, so that even adds more trouble to it. I wonder if we could just put that dang thing in the vise and just bend it over. I mean, or they need to see it cut. But in any case, what you do is you just take a picture of 10 different angles of the same line and just resubmit. So save you some time. Um, yeah. Interesting. Thanks for chiming in on our Walker about the Olympic supply. I'll have to check that out and see what they got there. Yeah, but it's like in one of those things, like, I mean, I got an account from Canantu. I don't even know how to say it right. They do the Connex chains, so I can get Connex chains at a little bit of a discount kind of thing. But other than that, I really don't have any wholesale costs. And the chains are nice because that is a consumable, and I do end up selling those pre-waxed online. It's just a test to see. But the Vital chain, they're out of Florida. They do a whole bunch of different brands, Shimano and SRAM and all that, and that's all they do. And it's almost better just to send him the business than me try to muddle through it myself with everything else I do. So you got to pick your battles. In a small shop when you're only yourself. Did Redline come in and turn into Husky bikes? Is that what I'm reading right? Huh. Weird. Or is that just a bike line that they carry? Well, I heard Holly was also closing a couple of their warehouses too. I don't see QBP. I think they did about 2 years ago. Shut down one or two of them. But they're bringing back Frostbike, right? The QBP show and I don't know when. But yeah, I don't think. Well, and we're also losing KHS coming this next month if somebody doesn't buy them. That's another one that's going to be a downturn for suppliers. So that makes it even, I mean, more of a challenge for a lot of these other companies, for sure. I mean, Jensen's USA used to be a supplier. I mean, you bike shop people know this, but Jensen's USA used to be a supplier in the 90s. I remember buying directly from them as a bike shop, and they had to switch over to do direct to consumer. Probably one of the first ones, kind of like when Performance is around. And it seems like they're doing okay. I mean, I don't see any cracks in the information of anything. They pick up closeouts and what have you, and they carry other bike lines. Like I was looking at today, I think they carry Cervelo, some of the Pond Group, Pond bike lines, Kona, and it looked like they had some pretty good discounts too to do the Black Friday thing, right? Everybody's trying to Black Friday up, but that's if anybody. Be interested to see what kind of sales any of those were actually generated through the holidays here, because it doesn't seem warm and fuzzy for anybody buying new bikes at this time. I think service is still going to pull through. I saw a lot of service discounting already. That typically usually waited till January, February, but Trek pulled some punches on that about a month ago. They're like the Trek local corporate store was like $50 off of their package or whatever, and you're seeing a lot of shops starting to do. Well, chain stores are starting to do that, or shops that are. I mean, the only time you'd pull that lever is when you have mechanics standing there doing nothing and they've already cleaned the whole shop area. I mean, it's like, okay, now we need to do something to get somebody to come in and discount it to at least keep the lights on. Typically, though, that doesn't happen until January or February. Will they go any deeper? Most likely not. But I mean, if you're doing off-season discounting and you want, as a consumer, want to have that bike completely overhauled or any of that kind of thing, it's a twofer. You get a discount, and also most likely than not, the bike mechanics are still there, are the seasoned mechanics, like the really good ones, have been around for a long time, have done a lot of things, and that's their primary job. It's therefore you're getting a less stressed seasoned mechanic working on your stuff for a discounted price. So basically better work and a better price. So yeah, in any case, that's just kind of how it is for off season. And then if you're doing a custom build or anything like that, that's the time to do it. If you're gonna have it done and have the funds to do it. Yeah, all these. I mean, uh, heavy metal cycles. Yeah, I bet all these wholesales are hurting. Um, yeah, it's. I mean, even, you could tell, especially when you individuals are watching right now and you're chiming in. I bet you're seeing your bike reps a lot more with a lot more sell hotly lists or stinky fish list, as used to be called back in the day, like the stuff that's not moving. And I'm sure you're getting calls and incentivized of taking product for better dating and all that. I'm sure. I mean, put a thumbs up, like, yep, been hearing it. It's just like they're probably just squealing. They're just trying to sell anything at this point. And are they going to take a hit on margins? Yes. They want you to take their inventory and you warehouse it instead of them warehousing it. Even though they had a hard time getting some stuff in, things are starting to. Sounds like things are softening up on that end for here in the States. That with all the other stuff going on, it's really hard to hear what's really affecting the bottom line. Like, I think the Colombia coffee tariffs were been reduced or deleted, or foods from Colombia, where we get a lot of fresh produce from in the States. So I think it's finally kind of retracting, hopefully, to a point where they're not just aggressive and not just so disruptive. But who knows? Next week could be a totally another cluster thing to deal with. But yeah, it's they have inventory in the States, and if they have inventory in the States, they're going to try to sell it, and they're going to sell at a discount because they need cash flow. Basically, what it comes down to, just nuts. Oh, I used to be an insurance agent, and the insurance industry went direct also. Yeah, we still have an agent from State Farm. I can definitely see that, but I think like Progressive and a couple of those, it used to be Esurance, but I think the direct consumer. People still use to direct consumer. I think companies like Amazon just made us be that way. Don't like to go sit down and talk to anybody. Yeah, and I can only imagine being in a retail location. I mean, I'm not a retail location. I'm just like a service center at my own personal garage. But I can only imagine right now, Black Friday, just it's taxing, especially if you're an independent bike shop. Is you're basically fighting against everything else, trying to draw people in, and you'll have loss leaders if you're playing the game and trying to bring in any kind of income over that period of time, and trying to generate excitement within your own store. And it's hard to compete against the Amazon and the big box stores and all of that. But if you have a strong customer base, which you probably do if you've been in business for a while, they're going to be looking to hopefully support your shop. And either it's between service or buying stocking stuffers or stuff like that. But it is a colossal pain in the butt. Think about it for marketing wise, because this is the time of year. It's like you're not really wrenching or pushing units and all that. You're putting on your marketing hat, and you're like, okay, how do we get people to come into the store so we can at least get to spring? And it makes it very difficult. And the holidays are we sold quite a few bikes. We'd have bows on them and put them under Christmas trees, but nothing near in the volume of those big box stores. Just to give you a perspective, a big box store, and I'm not talking about trucker and all that. I'm talking about like Dick's Sporting Goods, um, Shield, Sports Academy, those kinds. That's the kind of field I had exposed to for sporting goods. They will do 3 months worth of high season. Like, do you take June, July, and August numbers and squish it, and that's Black Friday to Christmas after Christmas sales. That's how intense it is for these people. So those, the volume there, I mean, you don't see that in the cycling industry unless you're in the southern states where it's warmer. You'll have more traffic and they'll be leveraging that. But then again, I can see that being a pain point because right in the middle of your season, you're like, this is the big blowout. So you're like, oh, okay, now I got to discount these bikes that are a 26 model and it's not even 26 yet. It's got to be just mind-numbingly crazy. It's just nuts. It's just nuts to think about that. I'm just so glad what I'm doing is just a little micro, and it's more just service, sell parts and things, and more of a steady stream of things. And YouTube's really helped out with that as well, for me personally, for my business for sure. Oh wow, heavy motorcycles. You went from Ottawa. I'm not even going to try to say it to you. Poughkeepsie, New York to Austin. So you're going south. You're trying to find somewhere warm, aren't you? We are in a transition. We have a daughter who's in school, so we got to wait till she's done with school. But I would say in about 8 years from now, you're going to find these live casts from Vegas, a little bit warmer, on a more regular basis. Yeah, what it is, working in the bike shops, service, everything. Yeah, it's all about the customers, right? And the community. And, I like adding the community piece to it, like the community thought process. When you think about it as a community, it's a little more, it's a little warmer than just like, oh, my customer base. Like it feels like a hard line. You salesperson, them customers, try to not knuckle heads. But if you're building a community, if you think about it as a community, it gives you like, oh, yeah, they like to cycle. I like to work on bikes and ride bikes too. Let's be a little more. It makes it more friendly, right? So, be in that perspective, it's building your community taking care of you, you take care of the community, and it's like it's a twofer. I just had a weird dream last night about working on the MS, and the MS is the MS Society bike ride they have here, amongst a lot of other states in the United States. It's bike MS or so. My family's been affiliated with. Helping with the bike MS for over 35 years, almost since the first year they opened the shop in 88 or 87. The first year was 88. They were involved with it. And I had an anxiety dream, like showing up and like, where am I supposed to go? Well, this all falls in line with, they basically fired the director of the Colorado chapter, closed the position, and I haven't heard anything from anybody from the organization, and they've been constantly having turnover. So it's kind of like, is this the year that I just not going to show up? Because apparently they're just so disorganized in the local chapter here. It's hard. I mean, they get a call in February, like, hey, can you come do this? Be like, yes, I will. But right now, I don't even know who to contact. And I've had points where I've actually reached out in February going, hey, by the way, I've done the MS for like the last, support for the last 10 years. Are you guys going to call on bike shops? Because we're working on our calendars right now. Like, and that was a few years. And like right now, it's like, my calendar is pretty much booked for next year. That's just how it is, because I'm just, I have events and I can only do so much. And right now, any of you out there that do those events and you're listening to this, you better get those, warm welcome packets out, or whatever the case was. Man, crazy. Yeah, Vegas, baby. Yeah, it's getting cold now. I could use a couple days in Vegas to go for bike rides. I know the weather's a little bit nicer there. Although they've been with some of the monsoon that's been coming in from California of late. I've seen some videos of that. But in any case, well, that's. Oh, I got some sticky stuff in my fingers. Where that's from. In any case, happy pre-Black Friday, Freakout Friday Freakout, because it's, Black Friday already. Hopefully you're in a position to be able to, if you have a shop, trying to get people in the door, take care of those customers, because they're all seeing it. It's just, man, the marketing machine has just gone haywire, insane. Like, it's just, my God, and just nuts. Yeah, the Bike MS in Houston to Austin. Oh, that's nice. That'd be a fun ride. Still going. Yeah. Well, they have pretty much almost every state. I know not all of them, but pretty much a lot of the states. And I've heard like some of the MS events in some of the states are just like great, like huge. Here, I think what's happened is there's so many other events in Colorado. It's just it's just almost flooded. So it's a little too much. Almost, it's too much that to the point where they actually stopped doing Ride to Rockies. I mean, that's how bad it is. I mean, that's how flooded it is for all these different things. Then you have all these other events coming up for gravel related here, and that's taken a lot of people from that too. But in any case, I'm glad still. I mean, I know they're a pretty strong organization. It's just they just don't know what to do with the Colorado and Wyoming chapter. It seems like it's not making as much money as they need it to do to support the staffing and everything. So anyway, all right. You're ministry to change lives one pedal stroke at a time. I love that. Walker's Bike Shop. Thank you for chiming in on that. That's great. It is really cool, right? When you get somebody in and they're like, either their buddy got them into it or they're buying a bike from you and they're like really kind of sketch, this is really what I want to do. And then you see them kind of flower. I mean, they just like bloom. They're in your shop every other week, or they're doing events and they get into it. And one of the best ones that I can mention, I have a video in my library too, is Kirk. And Kirk is an advocate of cycling in the Greeley area, which is pretty close to where I live here. And he is one of those individuals that retired, then got into cycling, bought a bike from me, rides all the time, rides so much that he's strengthened his ticker, his heart. So when he had a heart attack this year, it was very minimal. And he's talking about getting, he does all the going to the chamber meetings, talking about bike path maintenance and all of that. It's like when you have a customer like that and you get exposed to all the things they're doing to help people get out and ride, it's amazing. It's heartfelt, or just get into cycling and just have a great time. I have a couple, it's a customers that are a couple, and they were in the spin classes and they just got into cycling, bought a couple of used bikes, had me refurbished a few, and they've just been constantly buying new, they just got into it. And I finished one project and he's like, here, I have another one for you, which is just awesome as a service. I mean, it's great, it keeps me really busy, but it's really neat on the flip side to see them just bloom into like, oh, I'm going to try this out, I'm going to build this up and all that, and it just like be part of their journey of getting into cycling. It's just awesome, and it really validates what you do as a mechanic and makes you feel like you're contributing to their experiences, to your community, people getting out there and having a good time. Because I've done it. I've done the grind, having a shop with my parents, and you're working so much, so hard, and you feel like you're not making anything, and you're not, and you get so stressed out. you become very grumpy mechanic. I mean, you're just like pissed all the time. And I hated that because you just totally turn your back on everything you enjoy doing or why you're doing it. And what I'm doing now, although I'm still not making a lot, it is a little bit, but I found a happy place, let's put it that way, for me to be the best person doing what I'm doing, cycling and mechanic as well as a business owner, and also providing that joy and also be able to support the community that's there. So anyway, it's just if you can find that happy place, and yes, I do get stressed, of course. I get super busy at times, and all those things are still there, but it's been minimized to a point where it's manageable. And that's where a lot of you are like at the end of the season about ready to like just hang yourself because you're just like burnt out and tired. So next season, especially, Aaron a Go Guava, this is when you need to kind of really think about mental health and how you're going to mental health your business so you are not losing your freaking mind. And in a lot of shops, you're not alone. This is across the board, and it also includes bigger shops too, where you have more support staff, but yet you still have those stresses, and it's still there. So you got to be really mindful of that. Those that saw a little pilot of Will and Sprocket, which is the company I work for through Retail Toolkit, they have, which is their software program they did, but now it's owned by Kickstand. And saw a little promo of like Noel just skipping through his big store and all those staff skipping behind him, and like he's trying to make it fun, like trying to just we're doing these fun promotions, but they're solid stores. They have 10 locations. They've been a staple of the community, and they still really hold on to that community perspective, although they are a chain store. So it's just, it's really kind of cool to see that still happening within our cycling communities. And it can be, absolutely, for sure. But anyway, leave you on a high note of, heartfelt. You're doing it for yourself, you're doing it for other people, you're doing it to give them, as in Walker Bike says, gives them real freedom, gives them health, gives them, right, especially now. My God, you get too stressed out, watch out too much news, get on your damn bike, go for a ride. Go see, because the trees will still be there. The other families are riding their bikes, and I call them the grannies. There's like 6 or 7 of them. They're on little e-bikes. They don't go fast, but they're all just having a great time, and trying not to be in the way, and they're having, it's fun. So that's what we really need to focus on, and especially going into the holidays, where it does get stressful. A lot of people get depressed, and it is pretty serious topics. Cycling could really help people out to get out of those ruts, and to have, a better life, right? It's all about having a better life and enjoy this family. Absolutely. So, if you're only catching us, I'll be on Shop Talk Tuesday on Tuesday, but if I don't see you guys by next Friday, have yourself a wonderful holiday, Thanksgiving. If you're out of the States and you're not celebrating Thanksgiving, have a great week. Hope you're enjoying your weekend and having a good time with your family and friends, and get out there and ride, and all that. I'm going to do a shout out to all those who chimed in this week, because I don't know if everybody can see the chats right now. Heavy Metal Cycles, I will check out if you have a site and store, I'll check it out. Thank you for joining in. I appreciate it. And the information too. Who else is here? Johnny, the bike guy, Salt Lake City. Thanks again for chiming in. Always a treat to have you give your 2 cents. Scrolling. You guys chatting and chimed in a lot. That's awesome. I know there's a few other ones in here. Wow, you really guys got really into it. I may have missed some of those comments too, by the way. Talking and reading is not my thing. Let's see here. Man. And I'm still scrolling. Oh, Lawrence, thank you. 8487. Thank you for using the link at Amazon there to help me a little bit. Every little bit helps. Passive income is just, it's great. Also check out Bicycle Wheel Works, or not Wheel Works, Warehouse in California. to. And that might be it. There's probably, if I missed you, Zakari Apollos, thank you for chiming in. Thank you for letting me know that you're not hearing me. It's like bike mechanic doing YouTube is not the perfect thing. A lot more attentive and detailing and working on bikes than trying to figure out the software. Levitt 351, thank you for chiming in from Europe. I hope you're having a little bit. It's all about layering clothes, right? Get layers. Just get out there and ride. I did watch another channel, CAD Media. They were talking about. They had somebody commented about, don't need those indoor trainers and whatever. You just wear clothes and ride. It's like they had a really valid point on that one. Is they get black ice, and they were not calling it black ice, but that's what they were describing. Is like you get a little bit of frost, and the ground turns solid slick, and it's like riding on ball bearings. And it doesn't matter if you have studded tires or not. If you get a lot of black ice in your neck of the woods, it's you're pretty much wanting to stay indoors and do the indoor training thing. So, but like here in Colorado, we have an opportunity to just layer up, and we do have a nice sunnier day here and there. We don't have lingering snow. Like we lived in Michigan for a while where it accumulated, and that's where you just got into fat bikes. Yeah, there it goes. Oh, Vital Bike Chains, thank you for chiming in. Yeah, your store is like a little closet, literally. But it's like a little giant. Yeah, awesome. Oh, you just have a YouTube, no store on heavy metal cycles? Yeah, I'll check it out. Absolutely. Full Light Chihuahua, thank you for chiming in. Oh, you jumped over from the Bike Farmer stream? Yeah, I know. I kind of just went over the same overlap. Trying to figure out if I want to do it at the same time he does, or maybe I should do it afterwards. Hey, maybe that's the thing. Maybe I'll just do a follow-up on his stream, like not talk what he talked about. All righty, people. You guys have a great weekend. Thank you for hanging out. I appreciate you. And until next weekend, I'll get over this cold and have some cooler stuff to show. I got some stuff to dig into. So I'll have some cool stuff on Tuesday for Shop Talk Tuesday. And yes, check out the recalls on Trek's kids bikes. That's a thing. In any case. Thanks again for hanging out. I'm going to go take some more cold medicine and get some stuff fixed up and get ready for the weekend. Whew. Busy, busy, busy. You guys have a wonderful time. What was that? Bike Farmer's deep in the weeds. He has his thing. Everybody has their thing. And again, have a great weekend.